Albert from the north.
Hi, Albert from the north. Oh
I
God.
I've been a member for about 6 months, and I want to complain about this Southern racist you had on in the first half.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I want to make 2 quick points that you haven't made about the minimum wage, and then ask you a question. So just for the minimum, not raising the minimum wage, it's ridiculous. Firms just will, as a business practice, figure out the least amount of employees they need to profitably do a job. So saying that just because you're raising wage to cut all these people is ridiculous. There's a certain amount of workers they're going to have.
Right. Let me just reiterate what you said, because your dog was a little rude about it.
Yeah, sorry.
But basically, the way that you establish the way that you design a business is that you determine how many employees you need to meet the demand. And it is true that if you raise what you pay your workers, it will cut into your profits. But you know, we've already done the numbers. We know what it is for some of these biggest companies, and it is a fraction of their profits. And yes, their profits may go down. Yes, they may pass on some of those costs to maintain their profit margins to consumers. But so what? So what?
No, I agree with you. And also, the supply and demand argument has some small validity, but economics is influenced by a lot more than just elementary supply and demand. And also, what people who use that argument don't understand is that's a general rule. If Apple starts selling their iPhone for 2 cents more than Android, not everyone's going to switch over to Android. These are vague laws that work for relatively large changes. And my question was just about why don't the Democrats message this? Why do conservatives just go on and then put out all these points which are just flawed on their face, and then the Democrats just sit there and listen?
Well, I mean, look, I don't know about those specific instances, but the bottom line is they don't even have to message that. Raising the minimum wage is broadly popular. It has huge popular support. And really what they need to do is just simply go out and campaign on it. Raise the minimum wage. And to a certain extent, they're starting to do that. You know, look, the intellectual arguments here, it's simple. I mean, it's simple. You don't even need to get into the sort of the intricacies of economics if you're a politician. You simply need to say there is no evidence of any job loss. That's just a fact. People want it. It worked in the 60s when we had a minimum wage that was at least close to a living wage, and it can work today. There's no reason not. And the 60s was a great period of economic expansion. This will help that economic expansion. And you know what? People are inclined to not need any more rhetoric in that, because it polls very well. I think there's a sense of basic fairness. And I think, when people start crunching the numbers themselves and say, could I live if I was working 40 hours a week on $7.25 and I had a family, could I live on that? And people say no, and so they say, you know what, let's do it. And so, I think there is, I think it's important for people like myself to talk about the intricacies of the minimum wage. But I think for politicians, I think they should just go out and they have something that's popular, they should just push it. And I think there's some of that happening, but not as much as I'd like to see. But I appreciate the phone call, and I can tell by your accent you're from way up north. That you're from Canada, aren't you? Yeah, I knew it.
Yeah, we're around Canada.
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll start talking about one of the biggest problems, all the Canadians coming down here taking our jobs.
Yeah, sorry about that.
All right. Well,
that's primarily my fault.
I accept your apology. I accept your apology. Yeah, that's where we're going to have to smuggle in light bulbs from the Canadian border.